a little PowerPoint that I put together. So I'm going to share my screen when I figure out. But before I do that, I'll just tell you a little bit about myself and my company and my history. So I am obviously Lori Karpman, and I've had my consulting firm for 20 years now. I'm a lawyer by trade. And I have a management consulting firm. We are specialists in multi-unit models, so franchising, licensing, distributorships, ambassador programs, that kind of stuff. So we work on anything that's multi-unit. So I started my career as a tax lawyer. I practiced tax law for 7 years. And then I went into industry as a VP legal. And I was with a company that had they owned 3 different chains of restaurants, all of which were franchised. So in one case, they were the franchisor. In another case, they were the franchisee. So for me, it was really interesting because as the legal expert, I sat on both sides of the fence every day. So when I was the franchisor and franchisees would call me, I'd say, oh, no, you can't do that. And then I would call up the franchisor for the brand that we were the franchisee, and they would say to me, no, you can't do that. So I really got a really good perspective of how both of the sides worked. After about 10 years there, I left. I co-founded a chain of restaurants that I franchised, and then I sold that in year 5 to a US restaurant development firm. And so at that time I said, okay, now that I've sold my business, like, what am I going to do with my life? And I had just gotten divorced. I'd been diagnosed with Crohn's disease. My mother had passed away, and I had young kids. So I was a single mom of young kids. And I said, well, I have to do something from home, and I have to do something that I already know. So I looked back and I said, as far as franchising goes, I have the legal expertise. Having been a franchisor, I have the marketing, the operations, and the financial expertise. And so I opened up Lori Karpman and Company. This month is our 20th anniversary. And we've been really fortunate. We've won some really nice awards for our work. So, and I take that as that we are a team. I don't take those personally. And what I thought I would share with you is just an overview, because a lot of people really, they don't know about franchising or know about how it works. And most people don't realize that the hotels that they go to are franchised, or the fact that when they go to the gas station, it's a franchise. Most people don't realize how many businesses that they frequent that are actually franchise businesses. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to share my screen, but of course now I can't. Oh, there it is. So I will go slideshow. Not now. There we go. So this is just who we are, Lori Karpman Company. That's our logo. We have the colors of purple and orange for a reason. Purple is the color of thought and enlightenment, and orange is the color of courage and bravery. So those are why we have those, because that's what our values are. So a franchise is basically a license. Not every license is a franchise, but every franchise is a license. And what are you doing? Someone becomes a franchisee when 3 specific elements take place. So the business is substantially associated with the franchisor's trademark. So they need to do business under someone else's trademark with their branding, their logo, the colors. The franchisee pays an initial fee for the right and license to get into the system and use the system. And then they pay a royalty, which is a percentage of gross sales that they pay every month. And that again is compensation to the franchisor for the fact that the franchisee is making a living using the franchisor's materials. And the last criteria is that the franchisor has to exercise control over the operations of the franchisee. So why do people franchise in the first place? Franchising is a financing decision. That's what it is. It's purely a financing decision. You can grow your brand using other people's money. So if you look and you say, assuming a location is $100,000, the company wants to have 10 locations this year. So they either go to the bank, they borrow $1 million. Now they're creating $1 million of debt plus the interest, not to mention that they actually have to go out and construct and staff and supervise and manage 10 locations. Their other option is to franchise, where you find individual investors that have $100,000 each. We call them franchisees, and they each buy a right and license to operate the franchise at a specific location. So when you get a franchise, what are you getting? Well, you're getting a business in a box, really. You're getting the right to use the trade name and the marks to earn a living. And that's really important, because if you have a name brand, if you're a McDonald's, as soon as you put that sign up, you're getting customers. People know what to expect. So being able to put up a Domino's pizza as opposed to a Joe's pizza, obviously is going to be more beneficial. You get the right to use the franchisor system, which is their operating administrative manuals and procedures, their style guide, and you really get the goodwill that's associated with the brand. And that's what drives traffic to your store. So you're buying a business in a box of tried and true methods of doing business under a specific brand name. So there are 5 factors to a successful franchise brand. And there's 5 things that you need to look at to see if a business is ready for franchising. So you may know, and you may have local businesses that have a couple of locations that are really good, and maybe you may want to suggest to them that they look into franchising as a business model. So the first thing they have to have, obviously, is a successful business. So they have to be making money, they have to be profitable. They don't have to have a ton of locations. They can, they work with us. They only need to have 1 location. The business has to be scalable. So you need to be able to teach a monkey to do it. So it has to be something where in a training program, you can teach people how to make your product, or, how to retail your product, or how to provide your service. Your brand must be protectable. So you need to be able to make sure that you can get a trademark or copyright on your brand and your taglines. You have to be committed to growing a franchise system, because what people don't realize is maybe today you're in the restaurant business. As soon as you become a franchisor, you're in the franchise industry. You're not in the restaurant business anymore. Your franchisees are in the restaurant business, but you're in the franchise business, and it's a completely different business. And you need to have a support staff to be able to run it. And you need to have the right budget. So if a brand is coming to me, most of our brands are emerging brands. That's where we feel we provide the best value, is to emerging brands. And we provide, we provide every single service that a brand needs. We do incorporations and trademarks, we do strategic planning, anything that has to do with marketing, branding, websites, copywriting. We do operations manuals, we do legal documents, we do websites, we do a lot of HR work, helping, doing executive recruiting. We also provide financial services. So our tagline is that we're so full service that we even worry for you. So that's what our tagline is. So that's what we do. I've been doing it for 30 years. I love it. Recognized as one of Canada's leading experts on the subject. So that's been pretty cool for me. I've built my business through networking and writing and speaking. So those have all been great things for me. And yeah, that's who we are. So, and that's what franchising is. So thank you all for your time.
Thank you, Lori. Very informative. Appreciate that.
Yeah, it's my pleasure.